Coach, this first question I'd like to ask is why do you coach?
Yeah, I've been doing it 39 years. I think it's just the opportunity to work with young people, make a difference. Um, it's I grew up in a Christian home, and one of the things that you learn early on is God's most prized possessions are his children. And for me to have that opportunity to work with young people and maybe make an impact with them, it's just, to me, it's a real honor and a privilege, and I don't take it lightly. Um, my first coaching job was high school, coaching ninth grade boys, and you can imagine all the things going on in a ninth grade boy's head in life, but then just being on a campus of high school kids, the excitement and the energy in the hallways, it always, from a selfish standpoint, it kept me young, keeps you young a little bit, even today, being on a college campus like here at the University of Texas. And so, but just the opportunity, I think, to work with young people and try to help them navigate this world and teach them how to navigate the world, share experiences. I just think it's a real privilege.
Coach, quick question. One of the things I love so much about your program and what you've cultivated is I think you live your values loudly, whether that's like accessibility to players post-game, the photos you take on the first day of class, your ability to send pictures to parents so they have them one day in a scrapbook. Where do you think that comes from? Is that how you were taught, or is that just something you've cultivated over the years?
Yeah, again, I had such a great childhood as a young person. My mother and father were really loving people. Dad was a bird colonel in the United States Army, 32 years. So you can just know I woke up to reveille every morning. Structure and discipline were a way of life. Your word was your word. And so I think the family values I've tried to continue to live them even as I've gotten older. My wife Holly and I think we're really blessed with our two twins that we have, and the values that we've tried to instill in them. We were fortunate at Mississippi State. Both our kids went to school there. Obviously Blair played for me, but her twin brother Logan went to school there, and so Monday nights were family dinner nights. We're always a family growing up that, in today's world, you got one in front of the TV, one in the kitchen, one upstairs eating dinner, one on the phone eating dinner. I mean, we always sat down at the dinner table. We talked about the day. We talked about just things of importance. And so for us, we try to instill that here in our own program, the family values, and so it's just something that I continue to try to live every day. Hopefully my kids, my players see that in me, and we try, like I said, we try to live that with our team of 15, and that's a big family.
Or what are your team values?
Yeah, so just commitment, hard work, dedication, character. Those are not just mere words that we talk about. We try to live those. We try to really embody those and embrace that, and live it. I think it's easy to talk the talk, y'all. It's another thing to walk the walk. And life isn't about convenience. Winning is hard. Success is hard. Everybody says they want to be great, but there are few that are willing to do what it takes to be great. And so it's just it's for me, it's just the things that just trying to live it. And then again, we need to be the example, right? Our staff, we've got to try to be the example for our kids every day when they see us. Like when my players walk down the hall and sign my door and they walk past 3 full-time assistant coaches' offices during the day, they see what a real pro looks like, a professional in the workplace, how they walk, how they talk, how they handle themselves, how they dress, how they communicate if they're on the phone. And so, I think it's real important that, the role models that we provide our student athletes are critical to them and their development. So again, it's really important that we try to live it every day in our program. Everybody associated with our program tries to live it.
I think, well, funny enough, we just did a coaching clinic in Chicago, and one of the big components was creating clarity. Our phrasing was clarity creates consistency, whether that's clarity, a role for our players or clarity for us mentally. But for you, how would you, like, if you were to think about your style or, the culture you've cultivated, how would you finish this sentence? It's, I'm at my best when I am blank. So for you as a coach, when do you feel everything's clicking and you're rolling, you're at your best?
When I'm at my best when I'm surrounded by my staff. I'm smart enough to know I can't do it by myself. And so if we're talking about the job in basketball, I'm at my best when I'm surrounded by, my staff and my players. If we're talking about outside of basketball, I'm at my best when I'm with my family, with my wife, Holly, and our 2 children. So, but for the job, I think for me, it's, really surrounding myself with great people. I really believe good things happen to good people. In today's world, where not just in coaching, but in the real world, so many people want the shortcut. Everybody wants to live in a big house on the hill, but they don't realize there's a bunch of little houses along the way you're going to have to occupy before you get there, most of the time. And the hard work, commitment, dedication it's going to take to get there, nothing happens overnight. And so I just think that, I'm at my best when I'm surrounded by my staff and our team, and understanding that when I'm with them, I know what that culture is. I know what the mindset is of that group. And it's a pretty good aura to be in, a pretty good atmosphere to be in and live in with that group, because there's a lot of hard work in that core group.
And you talk about character, and I believe there's moral, then there's performance character. Like, how do you instill moral character instead of performance, where everyone wants like the stats, the wins, and just it's all about performance rather than moral? So how in like the NIL money, so how are you instilling more moral character rather than performance?
Yeah, I think that's something, again, it's part of the teaching and learning process with young people, right? I'm really fortunate here with this team. Our kids here all come from tremendous families. So I got a head start on that, or I got, the parents of our players have done an unbelievable job. And my job is to continue it. We don't want to be the parents worked 18 years and they give us a great product and then we screw it up in 4 years, right? Or we don't do our job to continue to cultivate it and make it even better, And so that's, I'm really fortunate. Like I said, we've gotten some beautiful, we've got some great kids here that come from tremendous family backgrounds that have great character, values, and morals. Everybody's different. When they do make a mistake, that's our opportunity to pull them to the side, walk them through those decisions and go, hey, what do you think? And 9 times out of 10, when you put it that way, they go, yeah, you're probably right. And so I just think it's all in your approach, right? If every correction's a butt chewing, that's probably not it. Not a lot learning going on there, because they instantly know that and they're not listening. But if you take every situation, good and bad, and you go, hey man, that was a great decision. Here's what you did. Do you understand the impact you just made on that young person's life or that older person's life by taking 5 minutes? Or, hey, that decision, what do you think? I think it's all in your approach. And I've learned that over the years, 20, 25 years ago, I might've been a knee jerk guy and that's probably not good. But as I've gotten older, again, everybody's different. Everybody's got a different button, so to speak. You don't motivate everybody the same way, and you don't have a working relationship with people the same as others. Some players you can demand more of than others. Some want that, man. They're just begging for it. Hey, coach, you grab me every day, use me for an example every day. Others, and not so much. So that's knowing your team, right? Knowing your personnel. And so again, I think we've been really blessed that this year's team, like the culture right now at the University of Texas, is really, really good. And it's taken us a couple of years to get it right. And it's one of the real exciting things about this year's team is their mindset, the culture in our locker room, and the leadership.
This is more a statement because it hypes me up, but I remember you saying that you and Gary Kubiak were football rivals in high school. That's just a statement, period. Next sentence. I know that you said you're a big fishing guy, which is awesome. For coaches, like, how does a habit like that dance across disciplines and help you in basketball at all? Or does it not? Is it just a good way to turn off the steam for a little bit?
Yeah, so 2 things. One, Gary Kubiak and I were high school rivals, but it's hard a rivalry when that's one-sided. He won.
No.
He won most of the games. So
it's 1A and 1B. Come on.
Yeah. Hey, but the fishing piece for me, y'all.
Yep.
Like, I'm not a guy that wants to go out on, fishing and drink beer. Like, I'm not going out there to do that. I'm going out there to catch.
Come on.
So I'm going to have the scouting report. I'm going to know where they're eating, what time of day, what time the major feeding time is, the minor feeding time is, what the tides are when the water's moving. Like, that's just who I am. I'm super competitive. And so consequently, I fish a lot by myself because when I go, y'all, I'm going to be out there at dark 30. When the sun comes up, I've got more pictures of me wading in, waist deep water with the sun behind me taking a selfie, because that is such a beautiful, relaxing part of the day, a creation, if you will, of God's day starting. But I'm not going to worry that somebody's tired and sunburned and wants to come in. Like, I'll come in when I'm ready to come in. And many a day, I'm out there at daylight and I'm back at dark 30. That's just me. And some days I caught a lot. Some days I'm out there grinding, man. I'm trying to find them. I'm trying to get them to eat. But that's me. I'm really competitive in that area as well. And, I just think that's kind of who I am, and kind of how I'm built, really, to be honest with you. So I do enjoy it. I love it. I made up with it. It's probably a good thing that the coast is 3 hours from me. Otherwise, it might be hard for me to keep a job. I'd be down there more than I need to be. But it is a great way to really recharge. I tell you, I get a lot more done, y'all.
Yeah.
At 6 a.m. in the morning on the water than I can at 6 a.m. sitting in front of a computer. My mind is clear. I think more freely. I just have a better, real clear understanding, and just things come to me a lot better. Same thing's true 6 a.m. in the woods. I can probably get a lot more done from 6 to 8 in the morning in the woods than I can sitting at a desk.
I think you just hit that perfectly. I love how energetic you got when you were talking about the process. But what I took from that was, one, you have a ridiculous attention to detail in all things. Two, and this is just a life thing, I think the price of doing business with the gods is solitude. So if you want to be good, it's you by yourself. But more importantly, have any of your kids gotten into it now? Like, have they seen it and like, I need that?
Yeah, my son, he doesn't want to go fishing. He wants to go catching.
Attaboy.
He doesn't want to go hunting. He wants to go killing.
Cool.
So, hey, buddy, you want to go dove hunting with me this afternoon? Well, are there any birds? That's going to be his first question. Hey, Bob, you want to come down? I'm fishing tomorrow morning. Well, did you get them today? Well, yeah, I caught them today. Okay, I'll be there in 3 hours. Or no, hey, it was tough today. We caught 4, but caught 4 good ones. Well, let me see what else I got going. I'll get back to you. That's just how it is. Blair's got so many other things going on. I can't get her to hunt with me. She has no desire, and I think she's so competitive. She'd be a really good wing shooter. Like, she'd really be good dove and quail hunting because she's competitive. I can't get her to do that. I've taken her fishing with me a few times, and it's always been a catching trip. Yep. So she likes it, but she doesn't like it enough to go, hey, when are we going again?
Gotcha.
She can do without it. So
I love
and my wife's the same way. She's got no desire. She'll eat them. She'll help cook them. And that's why I'm by myself a lot, y'all, to be honest.
Yeah, that's amazing, man.
So, Coach, how do you define success?
It's a great question. I'll share this with you. My first year in coaching freshman boys at Milby High School in Houston, Texas, I worked for a Hall of Famer, Boyce Honey. And I think we went 20-7 and had a good year. Well, the next year we start out like 1-4. And I've lost every close game you can be in, like 2, 3, 1, shot at the buzzer. I mean, I'm about to cut my wrist with a butter knife. I'm a second year coach, about to commit, I'm just about to lose my mind. And Coach Honey saw that in me one night, and we walked outside the gym there at Milby. And when you go outside, there's a track. There's the football field and the track. And we walked around that track, and he said, Vic, he talks real slow and he's got a big twang. He says, Vic, let me tell you something. Your best coaching job might not be when you win 20. It might be when you win 10 and you were supposed to win 5.
I'm gonna write that down.
That's a great definition to me of success. That first year at Mississippi State, y'all, I take that job in 12, and they're coming off of a 14-16 season, and 6 seniors have graduated. It's not a good situation, right? All my friends are going, Vic, what are you doing? You're committing career suicide. You've never even been to the state of Mississippi. No one there. They're in the SEC, the biggest, baddest conference in the country. What in the world are you thinking? And we don't sign anybody. We take the team they've left us with. And, I looked at that team and thought, okay, maybe we'll win 5 games. That team wins 5 SEC games. They won 13. We went 13-15. Or maybe 13-17, but we win 13 games and we win 5 in the SEC. I thought we'd win 5 games the whole year. I didn't think we'd win an SEC game. Wow. Beat number 11, Georgia. Nice. We got no business beating number 11, Georgia. But in the Georgia game, we held them to 5 baskets in the second half. Jeez. 5. Beat them 50-44.
Attaboy.
And again, we couldn't throw it in the ocean if we were standing on the beach at high tide. But as that team evolved and matured, we learned that, hey, we weren't going to outscore anybody, but we were definitely going to do what coach wants us to do, and that's hang our hat on our defense. Mm. And so that's what that team had to do. And so by definition, that team was a success. I mean, really, when you think about it, you know, and so I just think, you know, I think I don't know that there's a hard line answer, right? I just think it's relevant to your situation. So we'll go from that to the situation I'm in now, where success here is absolutely winning championships. That's it. You don't win championships here, it's probably not a real successful year. And here's an example. A year ago, we're in the Elite Eight, second year in a row. First 2 years here, we're back to back. We go 29-7. We win the Big 12 tournament championship. First time they've won any kind of Big 12 championship here since 03, 04. We go to the Elite Eight. We finish 5th in the country. I go to a head coaches meeting. We have 20 sports at the time. We've now added beach volleyball, so we have 21 now. But at that time, we had 20 sports. I'm in there with 20 head coaches. Of those 20, 11 played for the national championship. 4 won it, and 6 finished second. So I guess that's 10 out of 19. We had 19 sports at the time. 10 sports had played for the national championship. 6 won it. We finished 5th and went to the Elite Eight, and that ain't even good enough to finish in the top half here at the University of Texas. Yeah. So the standard is the standard, right, y'all? And so I just think you have to learn to, one, I think you have to embrace whatever the standard is, and 2, you have to learn to live within that standard. And, you know, people told me when I came here, gosh, Vic, Mississippi State, you could stay there, you know, you got it going on, y'all are going to win, no pressure, all that. Well, who says there's no pressure? I create pressure on myself every year. Like, I'm trying to win the SEC every year. We'd won 3 straight SEC championships until that last season when we finished second again. Again, it's the expectation and the standard. Yeah. People don't realize that Mississippi State, we played in 5 straight SEC championship games in the SEC tournament. 5 straight. You know what? There's only one other team in the history of SEC women's basketball that's done that. Only one. Guess who coached that team?
Yeah, I'd assume we all know who coached that one. Is that Summit's like balls?
Pat Summit. They played in 5 straight.
Jeez.
So that's the standard, right? So for me, the pressure is all intrinsic. So coming to Texas, there's no more pressure on me that I feel. There might be more, but I don't feel it because I create that and I deal with the pressure from within. And so I just think, again, it's the standard. Standard is the standard.
Yeah, I think that's so perfectly put. One of my favorite coaches, because I've gotten really big into studying like soccer coaches, and his name's Pep Guardiola. But he says, I'm the standard I allow in my presence, and that which I allow, I encourage. And I think you've done such a great job of, hey, this is the standard. I see it. I know it. I embrace it. Let's dominate, you know. For you, I love your confidence. I love how much studying you do of the game. For you, where does confidence come from?
Real simple for me. It's looking at my team, how they practice. It's the time that I spend on film, evaluating my opponent, my players, knowing each of them and who they are, and being able to count on them. You see, my best teams those three back-to-back great teams, the national championship team that I had at A&M in 11, all I had to worry about was making sure they knew what time we were loading the bus and where it was loading. I knew on those teams, I didn't have to worry about those guys when the lights came on. I knew those young ladies were going to be ready to go. I knew their motor. I knew how talented they were. I knew that, we have a saying, you get out of the game what you put into it. And I knew what we put into it, what they put into it, what my staff put into it. So that was a confidence that I had in that team, in those teams. And so my confidence comes from that, from the preparation, from seeing them every day in practice, consistency, their consistency, our consistency as a staff. I think that's where my confidence comes from. And, I'll take you back. We get beaten the Sweet 16 by Connecticut in 16 by 60. 60. Have a piece of that humble pie. 98-38. 1 year later to the day, we get the same opportunity to play the same great program with the same players in the Final Four. I got the exact team back. Team back. The year before, I'm watching Miracle on Ice with them, and I'm giving them the David and Goliath parable from the Bible and the slingshot. I didn't have to give that to them the next year.
Right.
I could see it in their preparation, in their eyes. I could see it from day one in conditioning in August on the track, that when we got that opportunity, when their name came up on the bracket and there was a potential that we could play them, I knew that team would be way different. And it was different because of some things that we did leading up to that. But at the end of the day, my confidence came from my players.
And correct me if I'm wrong, did you take the number 60 and put it all over? So okay.
Everywhere. It was on my desk.
Yep.
Bathroom stall.
Yep.
Weight room, locker room, on my door, everywhere.
I love that, man. So you run to it. You didn't run away from it.
That's right.
Man. This hypes me up, Coach.
Awesome. Coach, one thing that we do in the basketball academy, we Dustin does a great job of having must-add actions. We talk defensive stuff too. Is there anything like we want to promote your program, anything that you want to showcase about your style on offense or defense that you're really excited about either this year or something you've done in the past?
Yeah. Hey, first of all, great job. Like I watch those actions y'all post. Like,
thanks, man.
I'm always wanting to add and do some different stuff. And I've taken some of that stuff that you all have posted and we're adding it this year. So thank you for that. The day you stop learning is the day you're done.
Yeah.
So I try not to stop learning. I try to continue to grab everything I can get my hands on and be open to change, right? Change is hard, and it's hard to get past hard in today's world with young people. But man, if you can learn to be uncomfortable, you got a chance to really be great. And that's what we try to share with our kids. As far as what we do, I mean, I think everybody knows we really want to play fast. We want to press you. We want to speed you up. That's just how we want to play. We want to make you uncomfortable. We want to dictate what you do. We don't want you to dictate what you're doing to us. And so, for us, I'm always willing to share. You can go back and look at a lot of the stuff we do, whether it's pressing full court or stuff that we really picked up, run a lot of dribble drive stuff. But we're not solely limited to dribble drive. We do have a lot of sets. I get this all the time about every now and then I'll get somebody and they'll go, well, Coach, maybe your offense doesn't fit me. I'm like, well, if you've never run it, how do you know? Like if all you've ever known is pick and roll, then let me just be clear. When you sell me you want to play at the next level is not just pick and roll.
Right.
And so, but you know, every now and then you'll get somebody and they're like, well, coach, I don't know. I mean, Terry McCown's a 2-time first team All-American at the post. Well, it wasn't because all we did was run dribble drive. We obviously had some good stuff for her inside, but also dribble drive also helped her in certain ways. And then obviously our development at that position, like I've been fortunate. Danielle Adams on our national championship team, you know, Tierra, Chinway, I can go down the list. I mean, we've had some bigs. You know, Charlie Collier wasn't even on the top 25 list when we got here to Texas, and in 6 months went to the #1 draft pick. So proud of her. And again, so, you know, just we're willing to share what anything anybody wants to look at, but we've got, you know, I've got tapes out, I think through Championship Production on both dribble drive and our press and our man defense. You know, we take a lot of pride in our defense in forcing turnovers. I think we're consistently top 10, top 20 nationally in turnover ratio, forced turnovers, steals. You know, those are things that are all really important to us.
I love it, Coach. Yeah, we're talking about it a lot. So my other job, I work for an NBA agency called Tandem, and I get guys ready for the NBA draft. And we operate out of Frisco, Texas. So it's just a lot of time watching film. And I think you guys put pressure on the rim so efficiently, and it creates corner threes at volume, and it's so fun to watch. So I think I might put a couple of I was watching last night. It just hyped me up, man. I was up till like 2 a.m.
Well, you look good if you were up till 2.
It's editing. My wife does it for you. But it's fun to watch you guys, man. Specifically in you guys' run to the tourney. It's fun to watch you drive, redrive, and then create open threes. So I think I might put a couple of those clips because they hype me up a little bit.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, appreciate you, Coach.
Hey, man, really appreciate you all. Thank you so much for the opportunity today, and appreciate all you do for our great game. You know, the future of our game is concerning. I'll be honest with you. Yeah. And, you know, it worries me as I look 10 years down the road, 5, 10 years, who could potentially be retiring that have meant so much to our game, who we've lost the last 10 years that have meant so much to our game. And then, you know, where's our game, you know, in the future look like? And so people like yourselves who do things for our game you just can't put a value on it, guys. And I really appreciate you, and your commitment and your loyalty to our game means a bunch. Trust me, you're making an impact, and it doesn't go unnoticed, especially from a guy like myself who knows the history of our game, appreciates it, values it, tries to share that with my current players so that they don't take things for granted, because it wasn't always like this. You know, the TV coverage, the media coverage, it wasn't always like this. The locker rooms that every team in the country get to experience now, the facilities, the budgets, it wasn't always like this. And so, you know, we really try to make sure our kids understand, hey, the history of our game and how it's grown. And again, the part you all play is really valuable. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Coach. And thanks for taking the time out of your day, and hook 'em.
All right. Praise the Lord and hook 'em horns. Good to see y'all.
Yes, sir. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.